What's up, foodie friends? Today we're going to be making a traditional artisan Italian ciabatta bread. Ciabatta bread was invented by a Venetian baker in the 1980s. This was to challenge the reign of the French baguette. Talk about a delicious rivalry. And did you know that ciabatta means slipper in Italian? It's named for its cozy slipper-like shape, but it doesn't taste like a slipper. Imagine the aroma of this golden beauty just filling your kitchen, and the joy of sinking your teeth into that perfectly crusty exterior. Can you smell it already? Time to get this dough on the road. You won't be able to resist. First, we'll start by preparing the dough for our ciabatta bread. I'm gonna combine 10 grams of active dry yeast with 400 milliliters of water. Make sure the water's a lukewarm temperature. Then we'll add in a pinch of sugar. This is gonna help to activate the yeast. Then just stir it together. Now we're gonna combine the yeast and water mixture with 500 grams of all-purpose flour. Stir it up with a wooden spoon. Ciabatta dough is characterized by its very high water content. Usually a ciabatta dough will have 70 to 80% hydration. This abundant moisture contributes to the bread's chewy and airy texture. I'm gonna transfer this to another bowl to let it rise. First, we'll grease it with some olive oil. Now you can transfer the dough. Now I'm gonna cover this and allow it to rise for about 90 minutes. While the dough is rising, I'm gonna make a quick and easy garlic and herb compound butter to serve with the ciabatta bread. I'm gonna start with some vegan butter that I brought to room temperature to soften it. I'm gonna add in some minced garlic, a pinch of salt, and I'm gonna chop up some fresh chives. Now we can add these in and stir the butter until it's combined. We're gonna shape our compound butter into a log. To do this, put it on a piece of plastic wrap. So I've evenly spread this across into kind of a rectangular shape. I'm gonna use the plastic wrap to help form it into a log. Now we're gonna place it in the fridge to let it harden. Now our dough ball has risen and it's more than doubled in size. I'm gonna add in 3 teaspoons of salt, and now I'm gonna stir it in. The reason we didn't add the salt before is because salt and yeast don't combine well. Salt can inhibit the yeast from rising, so it's better to add it after. For the second rise, I'm gonna transfer my dough into a pretty large casserole dish that's fairly deep. I lined it with some parchment paper and I'm gonna drizzle in some olive oil. Now we'll transfer in the dough. With a spatula, just spread it out in the dish. So we have a shape that's pretty rectangular, but it doesn't have to be perfect because the dough is going to expand more during the second rise. We'll brush a little bit more olive oil on top. I'll cover it again and let it rise for another hour. Before we shape our ciabatta bread, I'm just going to preheat the oven to 480 degrees Fahrenheit. Inside the oven, I have a tray that I'm going to fill with water. This is gonna help maintain a moist environment in the oven while the bread's cooking. Our dough has finished a second rise and now we're gonna transfer it onto a cutting board. First, we're gonna generously flour the surface of the cutting board. Place the dough onto the board. With your hands, just stretch it out very thin. Sprinkle some more flour on top. Now I'm gonna cut this into 4 pieces. We're gonna take each piece and fold it over itself 4 times lengthwise. We'll transfer each piece onto a large cookie sheet. These are ready and the oven's now been preheated. I'm gonna let them bake for about 10 minutes. Then you can lower the heat to 425 degrees Fahrenheit and let them cook for an additional 20 to 25 minutes. That crust has the perfect crunch, and the inside is so fluffy and airy. The chives and the compound butter really give it a burst of freshness. I hope you enjoyed learning how to make this delicious and easy ciabatta bread with me. If you want to see the full instructions for this recipe, head on over to earthtorocco.com. And if you really like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button to get updates on my latest ones. Ciao amici!